Hello YouTube, it is Toy Adventures here again with another figure review. And here, deep in the jungles of Isla Nublar, we have finally found ourselves the Hammond Collection Velociraptor Blue. So guys, we have been long awaiting this figure for truly some time now. We got the Owen a couple months back, and surprisingly and quite perplexingly, no blue. We got that Dimetrodon. Ah yes, our favorite duo, Owen and the Dimetrodon. Yeah, it was kind of strange that they didn't release this figure a lot earlier than they did, but I guess late is better than never. So here we are. So anyway, taking a look here at the packaging, it's pretty standard, except now we have that whole render of the toy itself instead of the character. It's just a nice digital render of the actual toy. You can see all the little creases for articulation. It just says Velociraptor Blue. One thing I noticed is they don't even have to put Jurassic World in the front of these boxes anymore. Nowhere on the front of this box does it say Jurassic World. Only when you turn it to the side do you get the little logo there. But I mean, you already know. They know, you know. You want your dinosaur, here it is. You don't need to be told where it's from. You already know. So really neat little box. Take it here at the back. Look at that, we actually have a bio. The largest and smartest of her pack, Velociraptor Blue, imprints on her trainer, Owen Grady, while her empathetic nature further sets her apart. Her intrepid instincts come out when she faces off against the Indominus Rex with the addition of more teeth. Sorry, that was kind of hard to read. I'm obviously at a weird angle here, but the back here shows off a lot of its gimmicks. Obviously, it is articulated, get it in different poses, and they seem to have took the idea of the glass eye and ran with it. Instead of giving it to just the bigger dinosaurs, now each and every release, it seems, is having a glass eye feature. It's hit or miss. A lot of the times it misses, and when it misses bad. But when it hits, it does look pretty damn good, I have to admit. As you can see, the Dimetrodon, Owen, and Carno down there is pretty much all we have to look forward to. We already got all those. Now we're looking forward to the Therizinosaurus and the Giga. So, kind of irrelevant, am I right? Taking a look at the side, just has a nice render of blue again. I heard you guys like these more naturey intros. They probably won't be for every review, but for special ones and ones I can manage, I will try and give us a more unique outside opening. Obviously, I'm not going to do the whole review here of just doing the opening here and doing some shots for the review. But now that we've gotten the packaging out of the way, let's head back to the safety of our compound where we can do the full review and take a look at this thing out of the box. And here we are back at the compound, safe and sound, where we can take a closer look at Blue, now released from her packaging. And I have a lot of things to say about this Raptor. It's a lot of hit and a lot of miss. Specifically, the body proportions are really good here. Things we can take clear note of is the improved shape of the Raptor body, the way it flows from point A to point B. Looks a lot more in line with how they do in Jurassic World. Another big thing here is the feet. The feet are proportionally small, and they do a just fine job of helping her balance, just as the big feet did. So therefore proving that we really never needed the big feet. I think Mattel was just inexperienced with how to make dinosaurs stand, so they needed it kind of for them as training wheels, and now they kind of are able to take the training wheels off and give us, well, the quality dinosaurs we wanted from the start. So better late than never, in my opinion. So the proportions on this Raptor, at least from the neck down, are great. Now you notice we say neck down. Well, that is because, once again, they have kind of screwed up the head. Not too bad, but noticeably so. As you can see, Blue's eyes just look like a dark pit of evil nothingness. It is quite terrifying because they once again try and give a smaller figure the glass eye, like this is some Imaginext toy. And Imaginext got away with it because their glass eyes are huge and very well defined because they're very experienced with how to do glass eyes on toys. And again, they're much bigger. These are much smaller and do not do anywhere near the job that those eyes do. So yeah, the glass eye is once again a miss, just like it was with the Dimetrodon. You really got to get up close and really focus on it to even see the glass eye. Luckily, once again, Marco Makes and Cyratech on Instagram are making a replacement head that will significantly improve the sculpt and, of course, the eye of this creature. So, you know, for those paint savvy or, you know, for those with the money that can commission an artist to do it, you might want to get a replacement head for this one because the eye really ruins it. Like, unless it's in perfect lighting, and even now you guys can hardly even see it, you have to be at the perfect angle, otherwise you don't get anything out of it. So you get to be at the perfect angle, otherwise it looks just dark and soulless. Try to get the right angle that you guys can kind of see. You get the kind of raptor slit eye in there. It's really bad. Now, enough about that glass eye. It's good to the naked eye. At most angles, it's good to the naked eye, but on camera, it looks atrocious. And you know me, I like to film these, so I kind of need it to look good on camera. That aside, the jaw is a little wonky. When it's closed, it's not so bad. It's still pretty blunt and, well, inaccurate. But when it's opened, you can really see that there's a noticeable underbite. The jaw protrudes out a little bit more than it should. And it is quite distracting. It really does look like it has an overbite until you bring the jaw back in. Mattel really needs to revise how they do the jaws on these raptors because it is lacking. It does kind of ruin the look of the head. Not to a significant degree to where this looks as bad as, I don't know, the first release Raptors, but it's not quite the improvement I was hoping for. But there are, you know, replacements coming, and I like the rest of this figure so much that I'm willing to put the money in to get a good replacement head. That being said, the rest of this figure is pretty standard, especially articulation-wise. It is the same as all the other Velociraptors we've gotten so far. Really, the main difference is the head movement is on par with the JP3 Raptors. The original Hammond collection Velociraptors really didn't have too much movement. We'll do that comparison at the end of all the Hammond collection Raptors. But just to go over it once more, we have a bendy wire tail, rotation at the tail. We have full rotation here at the thighs. You can bend the knees in and out, full rotation, rotation and bend at the ankle. So even these little feet can still pivot in a way to get this thing standing perfectly. The hands are in a much more nice pronated pose. Not quite the accurate one where they're supposed to be sideways. But, I mean, with a little finagling, you can achieve that. But they are supposed to be like this, and I think they look quite nice, at least movie accurate. And then, of course, the head, you have hinge down, hinge up, hinge down, hinge up at the head, and rotation at both the neck and the hip joint. So, really nice articulation. You get a lot of good poses out of this thing. And the paint on this one is actually quite nice. Blue, it doesn't really have too much of a complicated color scheme. It's really just a bunch of different shades of gray and whatnot. So, simplifying the color scheme, they really did a nice job here. This is the first blue to actually have the kind of stretch marky looking stripes that she has on her thigh and body. So that really elevates the look of this figure and is easily their best looking blue, but that's how it should be. It is the Hammond collection. Now we're going to compare it to its other incarnations, because if there's one thing about Mattel, they love to release and re-release and make new blues. So we're going to start all the way from our humble beginnings with our first ever taste of a blue action figure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how far they've come. We were clamoring for this back in the day. We were actually so hyped to get this because it wasn't Hasbro. And now that I look at it, it is pretty much a Happy Meal toy. Yee, that is embarrassing. Look at the difference in quality. We've really come truly a long way, and it's amazing to see. Now, And look at this one can hardly stand. Then the paint got a little better. I don't know if this is the next release. I'm just going in terms of mold. Then the paint got a bit better. And so now it looks better now. I mean, the blue has the white outlining. That's important. And then we got what was arguably the peak of blue figures. The I think it's extreme damage or dino damage, battle damage. I can't remember what they used to call it. But their dino damage line, the dino damage blue. It has a really nice sculpt. It has pretty good paint. As you can see, mine's super scuffed up. I mean, the eye is pretty much gonzo. Because I've used this in so many movies, it's just been very well appreciated. And it shows, it's all dinged up, the face is all scratched and faded. But a very cool blue toy, nonetheless. Was easily my favorite up until this new Hammond collection. And I've seen people pop the head off of this one and pop the head of this one onto this one. I guess some find that the head shape is better. I can definitely see what they mean. I am inclined to agree, but I'm actually just gonna wait for the replacement head and do that instead of ruining this old toy, because this one's still a good toy, even if it is a bit outclassed by the Hammond collection. And then Dominion comes around and gives us finally something brand new. Not crazy improvement. In fact, I would say I still think the dino damage one is better, but it's neat. It's definitely neat. So that is Blue with all her other incarnations. It's been kind of a long road from here. We went from the Dominion Blue, from the Dino Damage Blue, to the classic Attack Pack Blue. I mean, we already have our, look at that. The old blue cannot stand, and it's gonna ruin my nice display here. We have come a long way in terms of blue action figures over these years. Slight and subtle improvements over slight and subtle improvements. Some steps back taken, but a lot of steps forward to the point where now we have a super articulated blue. And while the head still needs a replacement, that's the fun thing about these Hammond collections, is that they're so cool that they're worth putting in the extra dollars to make them look the best they can, even if the company that is worth billions of dollars can't get them out right the first time. At least the fans can, they will, and we will support them for it. Now, that's aside the point with Blue. It's time to get on to her compatibility with, of course, Owen. For those of you that remember, in the Owen review, one of his accessories was the little neck harness slash camera that Blue wears in the movie where they can track her movement. So now we finally get to put that on. I believe this is the right way. I really hope it is so I don't look dumb. But it fits on super easy. If that's not the right way, let me go ahead and just in case, put it on. Oh no, because the camera has to face. I'm not entirely sure which way this goes. I'd have to see a picture. It goes like this, because then the camera's, you know, with her POV. I'm gonna guess it goes like this, but very nice, very nice. Although I still think the Velociraptor itself should have came with this, because what happens when you get the other 4 Raptors? Are they all gonna come with one? I really hope they do, because if they don't, then you're gonna have to buy 4 Owens in order to get the, you know, the scene with all the Raptors and their cameras on their heads. I made that argument in the Owen review, and I'm not really going to retread it. I just wanted to bring it back up again because it's relevant now, because of course we're taking a look at Blue herself. So it is a bit tough that they just didn't give the Raptors themselves the head cameras like they did with the Amber collection. That way, when you buy all the Raptors, guess what? They all have the head cameras, so you don't need to buy 4 Owens. Well, here we have the classic 2 together. Now, before we wrap up this review, I said we're going to take a look at all the incarnations of Hammond Collection Raptors, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to start our journey all the way back at the beginning of the Hammond Collection line, of course, with our original Jurassic Park 1 Velociraptor. Now you can see that there's a lot of issues, that specifically in the head, that do carry over here. We're gonna take off the camera just so you get a better view of the anatomy of the head. It's way worse on this original raptor, obviously. The big buck teeth, the overbite or the underbite jaw, and just the awkward and shallow sculpting on the head is still sadly present for the most part here on Blue. Now, as we upgrade to the JP3 Raptor, I'm going to use the female just because it's more similar to Blue. The head is much nicer shaped now, and when you open it, the underbite is less pronounced, but still there. Actually, now that I look at it on camera, it's still way there. So yeah, they really never quite perfected the art of the raptor jaw, and I feel like it's a little less on the male. No, it's still there. On each one, I keep thinking, oh well, it's because it doesn't look as bad in person from most angles, but then when you hit that one angle, and it's really apparent and it's unignorable, it's really tough. So here are our Raptor boys from the Hammond collection so far. Funny that the Amber collection, I think, has more Raptors in its lineup than this one does, and it's the bigger line. So I really hope they crank up and give us more Raptors. I know Delta's coming, but we could also use some other Raptors like the Isla Sorna ones, the other Isla Sorna ones, the Lost World Tiger Stripes. Of course, well, we're getting the rest of the Raptor pack, so they are gradually coming, but you think they'd be out by now, but that's all right. I'm kind of glad they waited on the Raptor pack at least, because now that they have all these improvements, hypothetically, they haven't improved the head yet, but at least the body and feet improvements, now these cool Raptors get all those fresh improvements. I'm in the camp that I think Mattel should not be afraid of doing 2.0s of dinosaurs they've already done, but save them for a significant upgrade. So, once they perfect the Raptor head, I think they should go back and redo the classic Jurassic Park Velociraptor, maybe do the JP3 Raptors, the Lost World Raptors. Of course, redo Rexy. I'm just, ever since I got into Gundam, it's opened my mind to the idea of, well, 2.0s maybe should exist. 3.0s, I think you should just get it right on the second try. But I do think they should take second tries now that they are making all these crazy improvements to the Hammond collection. At least eventually. I know we got to focus on new dinosaurs for now, but eventually, once we get most of the important ones out of the way, start doing some 2.0s and improving old toys. We're dinosaur fans, we're crazy, we're bad with money, we will buy them, we will buy multiple of them, even though we bought multiples of the first one. It's just how we are. So, that being said, I'm going to give this Hammond Collection Blue I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's really good. It's definitely a great Hammond collection, but for those of us who are super nitpicky about the sculpts, it is a bit lackluster. But if you really aren't bothered by that, you can deal with the kind of shady looking eye and the questionable head sculpt. Maybe you're used to it because of all the other Raptors. Then you're going to be very happy with this one, because the improvements certainly make it a really cool toy, and I'm very happy with it overall. Just going to have to replace that head. So yeah, I have my complaints with it, but it is still a good new Raptor, just not quite the Raptor Renaissance that we have been waiting for. It is still kind of their status quo, just with slight improvements. Maybe the next Raptor, maybe they might do a new mold for the Lost World one where they finally fix the jaw. If we stir up enough chaos and make a big enough fuss about it, they might have to go and redesign that, but who knows. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Toy Adventures, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace!